Alright, hello friends out there in YouTube land. This is Michael Wilson Barber's little YouTube channel. We are not sponsored by John Deere. We are sponsored by Skuka Merch, where we particularly sell t-shirts. This is a video to review the album Kiss Love Gun, which I ranked at number 1 of my top 10 all-time favorite Kiss albums. It would probably not be the case if you asked me 10 years ago. It probably may not be the case 10 years from now if you ask me, but it is right now. And I'm going to review the album and share some reasons why this is my number 1 rated fan Kiss album right now. And it's 1977, Love Gun. And I have some notes over here. This is a 6th studio album by Kiss, and I have it on CD too, by the way, but vinyl is more fun, especially with some of these classic rock albums. This is the 6th studio album by Kiss, but their number 1 best-selling studio album. One source I got was about 4 million copies, so it's 4 times platinum. And the best-selling Kiss album is Kiss Alive, which is not a studio album. It's a 75 Alive album. The next best-selling Kiss album, I think, was Dynasty and Destroyer at about over 2 million copies each. So let me find my notes here. Anyway, here's the album on the front, on the back. So one reason I rated it so high is just the artwork. It's the same artist who did Destroyer, but in this case it shows Kiss sort of standing tall, confidently, and it's almost like they're in a temple of rock and roll, and there's girls with Kiss makeup kind of around them, sort of worshiping them. So this is not for children, and I think they sold a lot of these albums to teenagers in the 70s. It was the 70s. Kiss was the favorite rock band in the United States in 1977, above Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, and the Eagles at that time. So, but it's not for children. There's lots of rock and roll songs and sex themes in the music. So that's not why I rated it at number 1 favorite Kiss album. But let me give you some of the other reasons why. It was produced by Eddie Kramer, who's a very good producer. And Kiss was really on a roll musically at this point. After Kiss Alive was a breakthrough for them, they had Bob Ezrin produce Destroyer. And apparently Bob Ezrin would wear a whistle in the studio when they were recording to try to get them to be in order and get in sync and to listen to what Bob wanted them to do. He would get Peter to play the drum part over and over again, or practice and say, no, do it like this, ra-da-da-da-da-da-da, you know, that sort of thing. So Bob Ezrin did Destroyer in 76. Eddie Kramer did Rock and Roll Over in 76. And you can tell that those albums, Kiss is getting really tight musically. But in Love Gun, the Kiss is like at their pinnacle of their own musicianship as well as their studio work. Second album with Eddie Kramer. So they've had like 2 years of Bob Ezrin and Eddie Kramer producing those 3 albums. And it's just a great studio album. And there's not really any outside musicians, or very little, and songwriters adding to these songs. So it's like Paul wrote 3 songs and sang vocal as well on the Phil Spector Then She Kissed Me cover version. Gene did 4 songs. Ace wrote a song and sang his first song, Shock Me, on here. And Peter sang a song and co-wrote it with Stan Pendridge, his old friend. So it's like a perfectly balanced Kiss album with all 4 members of Kiss participating. It's the last album that Peter played on every song pretty much before things got bad, I guess, in 78, 79. Peter was in a he was involved in drugs. Ace was involved in drugs, I guess. And alcohol. Peter got into a car crash. Peter did not really play on Dynasty 79 or Unmasked 1980. So Kiss is at their height for musicianship. The vocals and the backing vocals on these songs on Love Gun are very tight. Ace just shreds on the solos, very good solos. And Peter is a very good, competent drummer with a variety of different riffs and things and fill-ins that he uses. It's just a very good musically, very good Kiss album. So, they also start changing musical direction after this album. Well, they used this tour in '77 to record the live versions for Live 2, which was also a very good album. So Kiss is like at their height musically and in talent and so on. It's just like pure songwriting. Like I said, there's very few outside songwriters and musicians participating in this. Let me show you the album itself. So another reason I like this album is there's the same image of Kiss like standing up confidently on the Casablanca record, front and back. There you go. Very cool album. Another cool thing about this album, well, I'm not a huge fan of this, is the album sleeve. It has Kiss in what's supposed to be blood. I'm sure there were all these rumors about how this was Gene Simmons' blood or something like that. I don't particularly like this, but it comes with a Love Gun, cardboard, cut out Love Gun inside the album. And you can build it, like cut it out of the cardboard and glue it together. And it makes this Love Gun that you can bang it. So I'm gonna not try to create this Love Gun. There's instructions on how to put it together. But I think that's cool. And I think though they were marketing probably to teenagers and people in their 20s, but as well, girls as well as boys though, because remember Beth was a huge hit and Destroyer. So there were a lot of girls listening to Kiss in '76, '77. Again, the most popular rock band in the United States at that time. So it's just a great musical album, great production, great presentation, sold the best of all the studio albums. So that's why I rated it my #1 favorite Kiss album right now of all time. Sold about twice as much as Destroyer and Alive 2. Only Alive 1 outsold Love Gun. I won't review every song. I'll get ready to close this review, but I will share this. My 3 favorite songs from Love Gun is, of course, Love Gun with Paul Stanley singing. Very good song, as well know. They played it up until the end. Shock Me by Ace. It's very funky. The first song that Ace sings lead vocals on. It's a great song. It's real funky. It's got a lot of good changes. Very interesting song. Somewhat based on a true story, right? Because Ace in late '76 got shocked at a show in Florida. And he was off the stage. They had to stop the show for 30 minutes for him to recover. And he played with a numb hand for the rest of the set. He got shocked, electrocuted. So man, great song. Very funky. My favorite Gene Simmons song on this is a deep cut, Almost Human, with Gene Simmons. Very funky. There's like someone playing congos on there. Not Peter, but Peter plays the regular drums. But it is a great rock and roll album. Even, Peter's Hooligans, kind of goofy, but it's a great rock and roll song. I Stole Your Love, great rock and roll song. Plaster Caster, I don't know, man. I will say that Christine 16 was, of course, dubbed by Tone Loc for, I guess, Funky Cold Medina. or was it Wild Thing? I don't remember. It's very weird that Gene would write these songs about underage girls. I don't know what that's all about. It's very inappropriate. But I think teenagers in the 70s didn't care. I don't know, man. Couldn't get away with that today, I guess. And but my three favorite songs are Love Gun, Paul, Almost Human, Gene, and of course Shock Me by Ace. So that's why this is my #1 favorite Kiss album. Kiss Love Gun, 1977. When you wanted the best, you got the best. Kiss, the band that ruled the world in 1977. They could do no wrong. And then they started falling apart after the solo albums, and then Dynasty, the Peter Chris car crash, the drugs and alcohol, Peter and Ace, and Unmasked, and fired Peter from the band. Ace left the band after The Elder. Eric Carr was a great addition to Kiss. Other reviews for another day. Hope you enjoyed this review. God bless and goodbye. Again, this is not for children. I'm not saying I recommend this album for children. I recommend it only as a rock and roll album in the context of 1977 Kiss. Okay, bye.